you were looking. Goodness. I was just getting some mate ready for another movie review, of course. But you guys smell that? Kind of smells like a blockbuster. Is that Dune? No, not Dune. Today we're going to be talking about Bond, James Bond, or No Time to Die. No Time to Die is directed by Cary Joji Fukunaga. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He also directed Beasts of No Nation, as well as Sin Nombre. It stars, of course, Daniel Craig, Ana de Armas, Ralph Fiennes, Lea Seydoux, Naomi Harris, and Rami Malek. This is the fifth and final James Bond film in the Daniel Craig saga of the modern Bond movies. Where do I start? I mean, it is a James Bond film, and I will say I did enjoy it quite a lot. The budget for this is extreme. It's clearly beyond imagination, as is shown on a big IMAX screen. The stunts and action were all on par with, say, Skyfall and the previous Bond films, but if not potentially even better. It was all extremely well choreographed and very well shot. The cinematography was quite nice to look at, and it wasn't a crazy, ridiculous, shaky cam. The stunts were pretty in clear view, and beyond the action sequences, it was a very well shot film. The music, of course, is classic Bond as always, with a little bit of a new twist, but then beyond that, the new Billie Eilish Bond song was very good, and I think it was a fitting song for this particular Bond movie, but nothing will ever come really truly close to Adele's Skyfall. Where does this Bond film fall? I mean, if you're a big Bond film fan, especially of the Daniel Craig variation, you will most likely have a very good time with this movie, and it will deliver the goods. On a Bond scale, it still is definitely on the top percentile in terms of the best Bond films ever made. Everyone was very good in the film for the most part, and even Ana de Armas, who had basically the equivalent of a cameo in the film, she was very good, and I think she was underutilized, and she could have had a lot larger role in the movie, but it was very brief, and it was kind of like left you wanting more of this character. Everyone was really good in the movie, and as a whole, the film worked very well, and well enough actually to elicit an emotional response from me at the end of the film. However, I will say that I was in a sentimental mood, which was not related to James Bond. But even beyond that, I mean, there was definitely some nostalgia and something special about seeing the closure of this Bond franchise with Daniel Craig. And then also something at the end of the film, which I will not spoil, happened that kind of took me aback and surprised me. And it was quite unexpected. So my taste for Bond films has started to wane over time, and I can really smell the cheese factor that is there, and also see that formula that really kind of comes through in a lot of the Bond films. It doesn't do much for me once I actually leave the theater, but is it a good experience to go see it on the biggest screen that you possibly can? Yes. If you want anything more than just a fun, well-done action flick with all of the Bond cliches, I would probably consider not going, especially if you're not already a fan of any of the James Bond films originally. So with this installment of James Bond and No Time to Die, the writing is not super strong. I mean, beyond the expected cheesy one-liners, there is a little bit of underdevelopment in a lot of different characters, and we don't get enough time with certain characters to really truly care. The only person that really matters in this film and in this movie is James Bond, or Daniel Craig. There was one other key element that I think wasn't quite as strong here as maybe in other Bond films or even other Daniel Craig Bond films, which was the villain. The villain was weak. I mean, Rami Malek is a great actor, and I think he was underutilized here. The writing for his character was weak, and we did not really get a chance to feel scared of this character and really understand his underlying motivations beyond exposition. He was kind of a typical supervillain, evil villain, you know, Dr. Evil kind of a guy, and as an audience we are given a relatively hollow explanation as to why he is so evil beyond trauma and mental issues that we assume he probably has. However, at the end of the day, what are we expecting from a Bond movie? It was a lot of fun. I mean, if you are looking for a just fun experience at the cinema, you want to see some spectacle on a really big screen and not really have to think, and aren't looking for something much more than that, you'll probably have a good time. If you are an existing James Bond fan and you have an interest in watching some mindless action that's very well done, and bidding farewell to Daniel Craig as James Bond is a fitting goodbye and worth the watch, especially for James Bond fans. I'm going to give No Time to Die 7 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Leave a comment, let me know below. What is your favorite Daniel Craig James Bond, or James Bond in general? What did you think of No Time to Die? And of course, like it if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe. And I will see y'all in the next review.